Okay, hello Midnight and Code Wonder. I'm gonna explain you how event work in JavaScript. So basically the idea behind event is to make our website interactive. So when user interact with our website, let's suppose click on a button, then you can run some code if you use event. To run the code, I basically take example to explain better thing. Okay, so what I do, I put a button on the screen, and using JavaScript I grab the button, and to run some code we have to attach an event handler to that button, and for this I use this line of code. What basically it does, uh, here this part act as a event handlers. Okay, so this is a function that is going to called when a event of click happen on the button, and after that when the event happen, basically our window object of DOM pass an event object to this event handlers. Okay, and we're gonna talk about this later. The next concept is flow of event, how event flow. So for that I draw example. So event flow in three phases. First is capturing phase, and second is target, and then third bubble. So capturing phase is trickle down from top to bottom. Means when a user click on a nested button, then first event flow from DOM, then after that div, and after that button. And when this phase end, the second phase begin, and that is target phase. And this phase is going to decide what is the our target element. So let's suppose if I click on this button, then this means I target this button, not the whole entire div. So for that it trickles down from top to bottom, like DOM and then div and then button. And after, like, button is the end of our component. Okay, so it decide that button is our target element, and the target phase is complete, and after that bubble phase begin. And what bubble phase means, it going back bottom to top, means button and then div and then DOM. Okay, so by default event handlers call during bubble phase. And to explain how event listener getting called during bubble phase, I take another example, and in which I make a div, and inside this div I take a button. So basically div act as a parent for this button. Okay, so and after that I grab div using JavaScript and button also, and after that I attach event listener to both of them, like parent and also child. And as you can see, this is our output. And so let's suppose if I click on this button, so what it means, it means that we clicking button, but also we are going to click div, because button is come inside div. So now I am going to click it and show the result. Okay, so what it do, it just first print child and then parent. Okay, so what it means, that it first run this code, and after that this code. Okay, so what it means, as I explained earlier, uh, yeah, so event listener going to call during bubble phase. That means uh, it is going to down to up. So first it going to mm, run the event listener that is attached to button, and after that it run the event listener that is attached to div. Okay, that is the concept. And as you can see, mm, one more thing is we can pass a event object to this event listener, and you know this event object is passed by window object of our DOM. Now the next thing is, let's suppose you want to reverse the process of calling event listener. And what I mean, instead of calling event listener during bubble phase, let's suppose you want to call it during capturing phase. Means first you want to call event listener that is attached to div, and then after that you want to call the event listener attached to button. And for that, what we have to do, let give me a second, I makes a code little bit more readable. Okay, yeah. So uh, basically this is a method, this is a method that we have in parent, and this is our first argument we pass to this add event listener method, and this is the second argument we pass, and this is basically our event listener. And to reverse the process, we have to pass another third argument, and that is going to be boolean value. uh, Basically by default it is set to false. Okay, it is set to false. That means that we're going to call event listener during bubble phase. But to reverse the process, we have to pass true to the event listener of parent. We don't have to pass this in our child component. We have to pass it on button. Like sorry, for parent. By mean, let's suppose you want to target button, so you have to pass third parameter to the div event listener. I think you get the point. Okay. So now I have to, okay. mm. So as I edit the code now, save the thing, and let's say I click the button. So here you can see the thing is parent click press console, and after that click. So what it means that parent this line of code getting call first, and after that this is getting called. So hope you understand the concept. Yeah, so the next concept is a concept of stop propagation. So what it means, let's suppose I attach event listener to both of them like div and button. So what I want, when I click on button, I want to call the event listener to the button only, not the div. Okay, for some reason. So what I can do, first of all I have to remove this true, so the uh, event listener getting called during bubble phase. And after that, mm, I can mm, write here a thing, because this event object have a property of event dot stop dot propagation, and by calling it, what I'm saying the DOM, like browser, to stop propagating the event, like stop the flow of event that is going to pass to another. So what it means basically, mm, yeah, so during the calling of event listener, we are in bubble phase, means first event in the hand of button, and after that this goes to div. But Mm, in the event listener of button, I call a I call event dot stop propagation method, and by which means just stop the flow of event. So basically it never going to pass event to the div. Okay, so now let's save the code and show you output. Okay, so see, when I click on child, it's just getting child click, not the parent click. Like, not it is going to log parent click, because I just stop the flow. Okay, and we can do this also in our parent. Let's suppose I remove this, and here, as a third mm, argument I put true. Okay, and so now what is done is basically convert the process. So uh, sorry instead of calling the event listener during buffer phase, it's going to call the event listener during capturing phase. Okay, we can also do this during the capturing phase. Let's suppose I remove this code and pass true as a argument, so we can call the event listener during the capturing phase. Okay, let me show the example. Yeah, so if I click here, so best div event listener getting called, and then after that button. That's the thing. Now if you want to stop the flow, so I can just call a method stop propagation in the parent. So if I save the code, and now if I click on button, then only parent event listener getting called, because I just stop the flow. So uh, here I just stop the flow, like div, I mean the event is going to flow from div to button, but I just stop the flow at the div.